As always, I'm going to be sharing soundscapes and music as we progress. If you want to take part in that, you do not have to. I wish there was an easier way for me to do that, but there still isn't, shockingly. Wish we could have continued straight from the last session because I feel like we were all in a really good headspace and you guys were pretty freaked out to a certain degree, player-wise, character-wise. So hopefully we can get back into that headspace relatively quickly. But again, I just want to remind you to go back to that world of being a normal-ass human being on a space truck in space. And now something fucked has happened. That is beyond any of your understanding. Forget about heroic Dungeons and Dragons and fighting dragons. This is just a Tuesday. And now there's a alien organism on board your ship. The lifeblood of your pay, your shares in this job, have now directly been compromised by the death of one of the prisoners. That should be heavy on all of your minds, aside from the more pressing issues you will deal with shortly. As the potential of getting paid very little or even nothing for this job that you've been almost an entire year into should be important to all of you. A reminder, again, of the core mechanic. You just need D6s for this game. If you're going to be rolling in person, physically, D6s of at least 2 different colors, about 10 or so each. One will be your normal dice, one will be your stress. Just like in D&D, when you want to do a check, you're going to roll D6s in a pool based off of your core stat and then your skill in that core stat. If you have any stress, you're going to add the amount of stress dice you have to every roll you do. Remember, you're just looking for a single 6 for success. Any additional 6s can be used for stunts, which is like additional things you can do. There are some cheat sheets in the chat, but I can reshare them if you need to. But if you have stress dice, a single 1 on any of your stress dice means you panic. You then do a panic table roll, which is a d6 plus the amount of stress you have, and we consult the chart. I think a few of you might be like having like the shakes. I don't think I kept track of who has the shakes, so if you did not, then we won't worry about it. But I will mark it going forward. There was too much in my brain last time. Can keep track of that. But let me reshare some cheat sheets really quick, and we'll get started. Any questions? Here are the stunts based on the type of skill check you're doing. And if we get to combat, there's a combat cheat sheet as well as it's kind of a general cheat sheet for the whole game. But I wouldn't worry about the combat cheat sheet until we get to it. I'll make sure that I explain combat.
Tim, I have a question.
Yeah.
Story points. I've got marked in my notes that I had one.
Yeah, I'm about to go over that in a second.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you for reminding me. Story points are very important. Okay. If there's any other ancillary questions before we get going, speak now or forever hold your peace. Before we get started, I am curious. Who do you all think is the first character that's going to die?
Me.
Just out of curiosity.
I think Harry Grossman is not long for this plane of existence.
Maybe none of you will die. Maybe you all will be badass. Maybe you'll all be Ripley.
Walter's in it to win it.
Harry doesn't care.
I think Gregory is gonna die first because it's just
Harry doesn't want to pay alimony to his wife, so he doesn't care if he does.
Perfect.
Excellent. Okay. Before we jump into the game proper, just some important things to talk about. As Ryan brought up, each of you followed your Act 1 personal objective and completed it, thus awarding yourself a story point. Each of you have one going into Act 2. What does that mean? A story point is an automatic 6 on a dice roll. So it's an automatic success. That means you do not have to roll, even if you have stress. So if there's something really fucking important, like you're about to get a anus burster, you could use that 6 and not have that happen potentially.
Or have
No promises. Or have it happen, yeah, if that's what you're into. Looking at you, Jeremy. You can spend the story point after you have failed a roll. That's very important to remember. So it's like a get out of jail free card. Or even after a successful roll, if you want to get an extra success to get that important stunt that you need to make something happen. So story points, you each have one. If you live to the end of Act 2 and you have succeeded in your personal objective, you will get a second one. Let's all take a second to reread your personal objective for Act 2, as that is very important. Again, this is a boost in the right direction for role-playing and something for you to achieve. You do not have to do it, but take a second, read your Act 2 personal objective. If you have any questions, you can personally DM me about it, or non-spoilery questions you can ask in chat.
What was the name of the ship again?
The Adobatus.
Adominus.
The Adobatus. Good question. Also, if the flashing lights behind me are bothering anyone, let me know. I'll switch my background. But
If I start stroking, that'll be your cue.
Yeah, if anyone's
Raising.
bothering. For raising, indeed.
My cue for what?
Everybody good?
Yeah.
It's like those Omegle or whatever with Kermit, where he just like
Oh, hey.
you remember?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
What do you think about
Shrubbery! They want a shrubbery. Okay. Last couple things. Each of you have a personal item that was part of your character creation. It was one of the things you chose. If you don't have one, speak up and we'll make sure you get one. It's just something, it can be like a deck of cards or a dog tag or something like that, a watch. You can spend some time with your personal item once per act to remove a stress. Since I did not tell you that last time, I want you each to remove a stress
Oh, thank God.
retroactively. And you'll be able to do that again in Act 2 if you have time. You can even do it during combat. So
that's like our signature item? Is that what you're talking about?
yeah, it's like, you're like, look at the picture of your kids in your wallet, and you're like,
Oh, I know.
everything's gonna be okay.
I don't think so just pick something random because I don't have.
Yours could be, Jeremy. Yours could be like a 10-year watch or something.
Yeah. Okay.
From the company. Of course, it says Whalen Use Honey on the face, but I imagine Harry's is a picture of his ex-wife with like a cigarette burn.
I had signature
Through the
item
face.
as unfinished scientific papers. I thought that's what
That's
you were
right.
talking
That's right.
about.
That's right. Because I that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have any personal affectations to his family. It's all about science.
So, if you want to use your personal item to do so, make sure you bring it up and have a role playing reason to do it and act it out rather than just being like, I'm going to use my personal item. Actually, use it in your role play if you can, or ask about it. So, during Act 2, you can do it again, but only once. Other ways to relieve stress: food and drink. There is food and drink in the canteen that can relieve stress. Like beer, there's beer in the canteen. Alcohol is usually one of the easiest ways, and drugs are the easiest ways to relieve stress in this game. There's also some medication that would potentially be in the med bay that could relieve stress. Your characters would think that there might be, but you don't know for certain. Only one of you does. And that is the medical. Other than that, you can spend 5 to 10 minutes in a safe place to relieve stress. That's going to become more and more difficult to do. But at the start of the second act, that's probably going to be the easiest time. Once we get past the initial situation that we find ourselves in, which is you're all in the med bay and you just saw a woman's chest explode and something crawl out of it. So once we get beyond that, if things are safe, you might have some time to go that. We're also going to enter stealth mode once people start walking around the ship. Stealth mode is essentially each of you will take a turn. You can move a certain number of zones during a turn. It's up to 2. And you can do things in those zones that take about 5 to 10 minutes. That's a way for me to move potential enemies around the ship fairly, along with yourselves. And there's like kind of stealth rolls involved from the potential enemies and yourselves to see them or not be seen. So once you guys start moving around the Adominus again, now that there is a threat, we're going to go into stealth mode, and I'll explain how that works. I basically just did, but we'll go into that as it needs to be. I think that's about it. Any last questions before get started? Well, then welcome back to Alien. You still don't know what you're dealing with, do you? A perfect organism. Its structural perfection is matched only by its hostility. I admire its purity. A survivor. Unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality. Last word. I cannot lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies. Science Officer Ash, USCSS Nostromo, 2122. Last time we were together, the crew of the Dominus was woken from cryosleep suddenly. The ship was in distress. Upon leaving your pods, you tried to get a sit rep on the Adominus and what was going on. Based on your sickness, you all realized that you were brought out of hyperspace in emergency protocols. The ship in yellow flashing lights, much like what is behind me. The ship seemed to be in sub-power, backup only. You quickly gathered your clothing and belongings and began going to your various stations to find out what was going on with the ship. You suddenly discovered several things. You were not in Earth orbit, where you were intended to be. You were, in fact, in the orbit of Jupiter, and in a decaying orbit at that, slowly descending into a very slow, crushing death in the orbit of the massive planet. Number 2, the Hulk The center of the Indominus, holding the 18 prisoners in cryosleep, is in lockdown. Most of the power reverted to keeping those 18 individuals alive. Addition to that, inmate 7?
Is that right?
This pod had
Inmate
lost
7.
power. And that is a bad thing. If you do not act quickly, inmate 7 was going to die, jeopardizing your stakes in this job. So, you went to deal with those issues, turning the power back on, getting access to the Hulk, getting the Indominus out of a decaying orbit and into a steady one, getting a situation awareness on damage to the Indominus, and removing inmate 7 from their cryo tube, stabilizing them, and then returning them to said pod once it had been fixed. Upon doing this, Harry Grossman realized that the ship was getting closer and closer to emergency meltdown, reverting too much power to the Ark than what was necessary, creating an infinite feedback loop that could have destroyed the Indominus. He took it upon himself to fix said issue, and succeeded. Once this took place, the entrance to the Hulk was no longer in lockdown. The medical officer, as well as Sergeant Reed, entered the Ark, or the Hulk, to deal with inmate 7. During this time, before this, there was a brief interaction between the the doctor and the sergeant when he was on the toilet, and she broke the door down to get him out. So they weren't on the best of foot. Meanwhile, the captain was talking to Mother, trying to get some information, as well as Lance was at the stick. When they entered Cell 7, they found the cryopod covered in drops of water and condensation due to the kind of slowly thawing of the pod. And they could not see inside. Once they removed the lid and slid the occupants down to get them out, they found something on the face of inmate 7. Something that appeared at first to be a mask of some kind, but as it moved, quickly revealed itself to be some sort of living entity. Sergeant Reed's immediate reaction was to cut it from her face, but the captain, or the medical officer, talked her out of doing so and returning the inmate immediately to the infirmary, which they did. Once the Indominus was in a stable orbit, the captain and Lance Wagner returned to the medbay about the same time that Harry Grossman did, after kind of dealing with a faulty door, to check on the situation of inmate 7. Once inside the infirmary, things became quickly not okay. The thing on inmate 7's face seemed to slide off and fall off completely into the center of the room. There was a struggle between the doctor and Sergeant Reed over her stun baton. During this time, unbeknownst to the 3 crewmates inside the infirmary, Captain Lee locked the door from the control room. It's about this time that Lance Wagner joined the captain in the control room. And as the science officer or medical officer and Sergeant Reed were arguing, something burst from inmate 7's chest, killing her and in a shower of blood and viscera, skittered across the room and disappeared into the bathroom on the far end of the med. In shocked horror and silence, I believe Dr. Actually, are you a doctor, Walter? Officially? Are you Dr. Walter Kovacevic?
I don't think I am. I
Okay.
think that
I didn't think you were.
No.
I didn't want to speak for you.
I'm just a medic, you know. I've got some training, you know, enough that the company
from
thinks
University of-
that it's
from
appropriate for me to
Space
be on.
University
Yeah,
of Phoenix.
exactly. Space University of Phoenix.
Yeah.
I
Watching
would
pretty
say that
informative YouTube videos.
I'm like the universe equivalent, and the alien universe equivalent of like an EMT, we'll say.
Okay.
Not a doctor.
So, yeah. As medical officer Kovacevic kind of went into, I think he kind of went into, he kind of went blank, I believe, from his panic roll. If I'm remembering correctly. So you're kind of comatose, standing there up against some of the medical equipment. And a long silence takes over the med bay as we pick up here. Obviously, we have the maps in roll 20 if you would like to join us. I think everybody's already here. A reminder again before we start: the three in the med bay do not know the door is locked, so just keep that in mind. Lance Wagner also does not know that the door is locked. The captain is the only one that knows because he's the one that did it. You all saw this event happen. Obviously, the most directly, Harry Walter and Valerie. I'm going to also share ship ambiance if you'd rather have that than music. If you're following along that. We're going to start Alien Act 2 there. Time slows down in this moment as the last hour or so of getting the ship back together has led to this. The events of trying to save inmate 7's life has turned horribly and unbelievably lethal. Her body lays almost unrecognizable due to the amount of blood on the medical table, more like a bed. Her right hand, which is hanging off of the side, almost touching the cold metal floor, is twitching slightly as nerves fire for the last time. Walter, you are staring blankly at the far wall, your face speckled in red. By the door, I'm guessing up against the door as far as you can possibly go, is Science Officer Harry Grossman. Even more red on you than on the medical officer. And I imagine staring with complete lack of understanding at what just happened, also bedazzled in blood, is Sergeant Valerie Reed, as Lance Wagner and Captain Lee look on through the double-paned glass at the horrified faces of their crew members. So I ask you, what would you like to do?
I'm gonna turn to is it Sergeant Reed?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna turn to Sergeant Reed, and first thing I'm just gonna say, have I come out of my comatose state yet? My or am I still sort of stunned
That's
from
a
the
good.
last time
That's
I
a good
panicked?
question. Let me.
Because I think,
Let's see
the
here.
last panic I had was bad. It was bad. It was really bad.
Yeah, it was very bad. Let's see. Why don't you give me a roll here?
with
We
all
might
of
as
my
well start
stress.
with a roll.
We're down to 8 though, Ryan. So that's better than
Oh,
9.
sweet. So there's only an 80% chance that I'm going to panic.
Actually, I'm not gonna make you roll for this.
Oh, okay.
What do you think? How do you think he would respond to this? You went kind of blind shock, comatose for a few seconds. How do you think he would respond to this?
So he he has this moment where he's just completely incapable of movement. That fight, flight, freeze sort of thing. He totally froze. And then as everything sort of settles down, he's going to turn to Sergeant Reed, and just say, I just needed that baton for a second. Just 1 or 2 seconds. And then he's just going to sort of blow that off he just said that to be sort of like told you so kind of moment. And he's going to go over and he's going to look for any sort of like jar or like a specimen jar of some sort. Is there anything like that in the med bay?
Again, I'm not going to make you roll for this. You know the med bay very well.
Okay.
Looking to your right, there's actually one slowly rocking back and forth, empty on the ground, and it's like rolling through the trail of blood that the thing left as it skittered across the room. So
Okay.
it's like making this like blood on the side of the container, but it's slowly rolling back and forth on the ground several feet away.
Okay, so I'm gonna reach down, I'm gonna grab that, and I'm gonna kind of look at it, and I'm gonna use I'm just kind of, I think for a minute about like wiping the blood off on my shirt, but then I'm like, maybe that's just a great idea. So I'm gonna wipe the blood off of the jar on patient 7. I'm just gonna go over to patient 7 or inmate 7, I guess is what it was, inmate 7. I'm gonna wipe the blood off of the jar onto inmate 7. And so the face hugger is still just kind of like laying on the floor, right?
Yeah, it's in the middle of the floor. It's slightly singed from being hit by the shock and stomped on, but
I forgot about that. So I'm gonna take the lid off, and I'm gonna do one of those things where like you're kind of like trying to scoop something that's gross into a jar. You don't want to touch it, but you're trying to like. He's just gonna like scoop the little thing in and just like get it in the jar and put the lid back on it. And then now that I've got it in a jar, I was like, I'm just gonna hand it to Harry. I'm like, here, take this back to the science lab.
with a thunk that kind of snaps you out of this moment of staring at the corpse. You now look down at the containment jar in your gut.
Yeah. So, and when that was happening, Harry's first reaction was to turn around and try to get the fuck out of there and open the door. And in doing so, he would have realized it was locked.
The door does not open.
And he was gonna turn around to look at the captain, and when he did, that's when I guess the medical guy gave me the jar, and I looked down at it, and immediately I forget that I'm apparently locked in here. This is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
You've
I'm
been
going to
waiting.
give you the.
You've been waiting for this?
Sorry.
This is alien life. That's the only thing this can be.
Gotcha.
Captain, I've got to get back to my quarters. I've got to study this, and you can't tell me no.
Hey. I push the talk back into the room, into the speakers, and I'm like, I unfortunately can't let any of you out of there until we know that this isn't a pathogen, that this isn't something you could spread to the rest of us, to the rest of our cargo. You and Kovacevic need to prove to me that this isn't something we can catch. And Sergeant, I need you to see if that creature is still in the bathroom and try to contain it.
I
But
turn to
unfortunately, I
Walter and I
can't let
say,
you out.
"You think you need the baton for that?"
Nope.
Perfect, because it's staying with
I'm
me.
just cold as ice. Like no reaction, no height in my voice, nothing. I'm just like talking business to them, very matter of fact. That like this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing, this is what you're doing. And then I take my finger off the talk back, and I turn to Lance, and I say, Wagner, can you go in the Hulk and see if you can see any more of these on the other cargo? Is that something you can look
Who's
at?
that, man? Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You want me to go find more of these?
They're in their cryo, but I just want to know the scale of what we're dealing with here.
Well,
Wagner, you would know you do not have access to the cells.
I don't even think I can do that just on a clearance basis, nor do I want to. But oddly enough,
So I cut him off, and I'm like, I'll handle it myself. Under no
Hang on.
circumstances do you let people out of this room.
Roger that, or whatever. So I told you before I was looking through like the files and checking things up front. I stumbled across something that was strangely hidden. It's a message, and it's from where we picked up your cargo or whatever.
Okay.
Tim, would I have access to play this back, or should I? Can I just can I just read it?
Mother can reroute it. From the cockpit, and I can read it for you if you'd like.
And
It's a voice. It's a voice message. It's not a written message.
The
Okay.
people in the med bay can't hear us, right? They just see our mouths moving.
Only when you press the talk. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Captain, take a listen to this. This is kind of fucked up. I don't know what to think about it anymore. I thought I knew, but now I don't know if I know.
Okay. I'm going to read this the best that I can. If I do not say anything, it's going to be because there is static. So if there's a weird pause, it's because it's broken up by static. Mayday. Day. Please come in. This is Dr. Anders of the Ophidian Albany on LV4. Reaching out to the US CSS Adonis. Listen, me. You must wake up the prisoners. I repeat. Do wake them up. Their lives and the lives of your crew on this. We know what we were dealing with. It's safe. The inmates, for the love of God, wake them. May God have mercy on us. Message ends.
So, I came back here like 100% certain that we were supposed to wake up some prisoners, but now I see this motherfucker thing like blow up at chest. Like I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. This is freaking me out.
There was a lot of static on that. Hey, I'm going to go to the Hulk. Can I count on you to keep them in there until they can prove that they cannot give us what just happened?
Yeah, you think I want any of that shit running around here? No way, man. This is my ship. I'm not letting that shit out.
Excellent. So I walk pretty much with purpose out of the room. It's telling him I'm going to the Hulk, but I'm not.
Okay, so you leave the medical life support. Those of you inside the med bay see the captain and Wagner have a pretty serious conversation. And there's a long, like 30, 45 seconds of them just standing there, not saying anything before the captain leaves. Before we cut back into the med bay, Wagner, what are you doing?
I am sitting down, and since we didn't get a chance to do it last time, my signature item is my pilot shade, so I am now in the chair, pilot shades on, just like staring at the ceiling.
The last
I love that.
several minutes have been like all caps fucked. And you take a few seconds and try to decompress. So go ahead and remove a stress. Captain, where are you headed?
Headed to the science lab. A deck. So
You're heading to
down
the
and around-
science lab.
Down and around
Okay.
the corner.
You have entered stealth mode.
Okay.
You can move up to 2 zones in a 5 to 10 minute space of time. You have left the med bay, so the hallway is one zone. The second zone is the med lab. I'm going to make a roll. You leave the med lab behind and make your way across into the science lab. During this time, we're going to cut back to those in the med bay. The last thing that the captain ordered the 3 of you to do was make sure that this is not a pathogen, and for Sergeant Reed to deal with the creature in the bathroom. The broken door is like open about this far, and you see this long streak of blood that disappears inside.
Yeah, go ahead, Reed.
And do what?
Reading that shit.
Go do marine stuff. Go check to make sure that thing's still in the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm good. Not fucking checking that thing. What I am thinking about doing is trying to figure out how to break down this door.
Which door? The door.
The door that is locked.
Oh.
I hit the talk button and be like, don't you fucking do that, and I let it go.
Fuck
Yeah,
off,
see-
land.
You know what they were talking about in there just a minute ago? They're talking about who they're gonna serve up as a patsy for why this all went wrong. One of us is getting fired. It's not gonna be me.
I don't give a shit about being fired from this thing. I don't want to see this ship again. What I want is to get the fuck out of here and end this thing. So, like, sorry, like, how are you going to prove we're pathogen? You're the doctor here. We're not pathogenic, so
Not
how
a-
are you going to figure that out, Doc?
Not a doctor. An EMT.
Just play one on TV.
Great. And you were the
Grossman-
one. Okay.
Grossman's going to
Makes
hit the
sense
talk
there
button
wasn't a real doctor on here.
and say, Wagner, you heard the captain. He said that we need to figure this out. I can't do that in here. I need to get to my lab where I can study this creature. It's contained in this jar. You've got to let me out of here so I can get back to studying and to see if it is something that's going to affect all of us. I can't do that in here.
That seems
Put
really
it on
important.
the door. Maybe it'll break it in.
He looks over his shades, hits the button, goes, ain't no fucking way.
You hear a sound from the bathroom.
Oh, you definitely need to go check that out.
I would
Oh,
say
I-
that thing shot through a woman's body. No, shoot through these doors. So clocking these doors is not going to mean shit.
For clairvoyance, Sergeant Reed, you saw the creature. It looked like a snake. Like a, not like a, probably 3 feet long. It didn't look very threatening. just for clairvoyance. But it was still
But
completely
I saw
fucked.
it come out of someone's body.
Yeah, it burst from her chest from the inside, so it was fucked.
So the power that it takes to burst through a body is pretty intense. I'm thinking that thing could easily get through some doors.
Parker, your
I
wife
don't know
had
that
2
you're-
children. Are you afraid of her?
I don't know that you're medically qualified to make that assessment.
That baby went through a hole, Brian. I don't know if you know how babies work.
A pre-generated.
That hole
Wait,
existed,
what?
Brian.
It did? Well, let's
So
sidebar.
I can
we'll take
hear
that
them.
offline, Parker.
I can hear them saying this kind of stuff. Would I know? Is there a way that there's like an extra set of blast doors or something that I can drop over that other door?
Are you saying
The
to
ol-
open the bathroom doors?
No.
No.
I'm-
If you want to, sorry, if you want to give me an observation check in the control room, Lance, you can. Actually, no. This would not be observation. This would be Comtech. Sorry.
Okay.
While he's doing this, can Harry see if there's a way that maybe he can use his electronic tools to just jerry rig this door to open? Because he wants to get out of here and figure out what this is.
Absolutely. You can do a Comtech check if you have. Do you have any of the tools on you?
I do.
You can use those. Gets a bonus.
So
I
I've
got
got
2 successes.
2 successes.
Dang.
Would you like to perform a stunt?
Stunt.
Is new unexpected information possible for this? If it's not, I would like to show off.
New information is available, but you can. It's your choice. If you want the information, you can take that, or you can show off, and I can tell you what that would be.
Yeah, I want the new information.
The new information. There's a lot you can do. From the medbay control room for good reason. You can straight up turn off the life support in there. You can fill the room with like a medical like foam to like sterilize it. The door is already locked. There's no further locking to that room. You do see there is a vent lock you can do. It would not turn off the air in there. It would just make the vent in the room enterable.
Yes, I'm locking every part that I can lock.
Yep, you flip the switch. Those of you in the med bay hear like what sounds like metal scraping on metal from overhead, like in the venting system.
So I'm gonna slowly walk over to Harry. I'm gonna put my arm around his shoulder. I'm gonna use my calming presence talent, and I'm just gonna look at him and say, you know, man, even though we're not gonna get paid for this, I think that I'm really happy for you that you get to study this alien life. Good luck with that. And so he gets to reduce stress. Or how many is it? Is it just one? I think it's just one.
I think it's just one.
He gets to reduce one stress.
I wish I'd known that before I rolled already, but doesn't matter.
You can re-roll if you'd like.
Don't want
in that
to.
Case. Okay.
Don't want to. So I have 8 stress before he did this. No ones on my stress, and I had 2 6s and a 1 on my attributes and skills.
Okay.
So I don't think the 1 does anything on the attributes and skills. Correct? It's just if it's on the stress.
Correct.
Correct. It only ones on the stress dice matter.
Yeah,
rest of
if
this
I was
fails.
if I didn't get any sixes, I wanted to push it. I'd have to take that one out of my dice pool, correct? If I
You
wanted to
cannot
push it.
you cannot push a roll that has failed stress.
Okay. Yeah, no,
But
I
if
mean,
a
on the,
regular roll, you can.
yeah. So, anyways, I got 2 sixes on my attributes and skills, and of the 8 stress die that I rolled, no ones, no panics.
Okay. Would you like to perform a stunt with that extra success? You can save a +1 for later. You can get more information.
Let's see.
Hide all traces of your actions. Show off. Half the usual time.
Yeah. Can I do half the usual time? Because I'm trying to get this door open before he continues to lock us in here.
Yes, you can do that. So as you're trying to calm him down, he is not really paying attention to you. So almost calms down through osmosis as about 30 or 40 seconds, you hear the doors snap, hiss, and open. But unfortunately, an alarm starts sounding on.
I immediately lock that shit down, and I spray him with foam.
Spray with foam.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Here's the phone.
Okay. So,
Oh my god.
Like
unfortunately,
The whole
cat.
room.
his breaking of the door security, when you press like to relock it, it does not relock. However, the foam does deploy. So in this moment of like, awesome, I got the door open, there's this loud hiss as like incredibly cold green foam starts shooting from the ceiling and like covering you guys, and essentially it's like being sprayed with like a fire extinguisher.
Jesus.
Captain, as you enter the science bay, the not proximity, but the emergency notification alarms start going off throughout the ship. All these little yellow lights, basically every like 6 to 10 feet in the ship, all start flashing, including in the science bay just as you enter it.
I shout, Captain, they're getting out.
Fuck yeah, we are.
He would not be able to hear you from there, but
Damn it.
Captain Asher, you enter the science bay just as the emergency alarm starts going on.
Such a little rat.
So
Yeah, he sucks.
I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm going to go get. So I walk with purpose to get the scanner tracker. That's it.
Sitting on the desk next to a pile of paperwork and a cold cup of coffee, very cold cup of coffee, as it was pre-hyperspace coffee. You see the M316 motion tracker laying there on the table, and you grab it. So I will give it to you.
Okay.
In
I
chat.
in frustration, also take my service pistol out that I had been concealing, and chamber around as I turn, pretty much right back around and walk into the hallway.
Okay, you better go back into the hallway. While this is happening, the door is open. The alarm for breach has medical breach has sounded. What are you guys doing inside the med bay, and what is Lance doing?
Harry's on a mission to get to the science lab, so he's gonna just beeline it there.
All right, you
I'm
enter
gonna
the
lock
hallway.
my door.
Okay, you lock the door to med bay control. I love it. Hold on a second.
And as Harry walks by and he sees Wagner, he's just gonna throw a bird at him while he's got this jar of, and just mutter to himself like, "I'm the smartest person on this ship." Like he thought he could do that to me.
Sergeant Valerie and Walter, what are you doing?
I get out and I'm gonna try to look for Captain to talk to him about wanting to go check the Hulk and the rest of the prisoners.
You guys, by the way, are literally like head to toe covered in like stinging thick solution, like
wanna wipe that off a little bit.
like Ben
Not
Gay,
really for-
but like
Is there any
way
chemical showers?
way stronger. So you all look ridiculous. Like you're literally like covered in green foam.
I do go to the door and I look at Lance and I go, "What the fuck, man?"
Stay out of here. Don't want your fucking alien bullshit in my room.
Makes me go up and rub my body on him.
The door's locked. As you go to enter the medbay control, the door is locked.
The door's locked. Okay.
Rub my body.
Walter, what are you doing as the door is now open, covered in stinging solution?
Walter is very passive aggressively going to say, well, it would have been really cool to examine this inmate, but now they're covered in foam, so it's going to be pretty fucking hard to figure out to do any sort of proper medical inspection on this patient. But you know, you had to do what you had to do, Lance. You had to do what you had to do. I get it.
I just picture this like eyes and a mouth, like talking in
All I can think of is you're
fucking
fucking
shaving
AMT.
cream, green
So
shaving cream.
he's just like wiping shit
just-
off his face.
Just hit the button and be like, should have thought of that before you tried to break out. That's what Captain wanted you to be in there for.
Walter's just, I'm just a whatever. So Walter's going to try and, to whatever best extent that he can, sort of clear off this flame retardant foam off of inmate 7 and try and glean whatever convoluted information that he can from her dead corpse.
Okay, this would be a observation check.
Observation, sweet. I'm assuming this is with stress.
Yes.
I have something that I would like to use before I do this.
Okay.
You gave me a what is it? 2 seconds. Nap relieve. You gave me nap relieve, which reduces all stress. I would like to just kind of look around to make sure that I'm going to turn my back to Lance, and I'm going to just sort of like, you know, kind of like quietly just sort of like jam this right into my arm, just and just relieve all my stress. I'm going to use this nap relief and
of euphoria kind of enters your brain. And like the muck slowly dripping off of you, all of that stress just immediately kind of falls away.
Perfect. And I'm going to turn I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to make an attempt to do my medical observation. And I'm going to, again, very passive aggressively say something like, now, watch what a real professional can do, Lance. And
I'm a professional at flying a ship. Like, I'm not a doctor like you.
not a doctor. Anyway, observation, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
And Lance, if you wanted to try to see what he was doing, you can give me an observation roll as well.
Hell yeah. I was
He was
up at the
definitely
glass.
All right. So I am observing her corpse. Fucking Christ. I no success. I'm gonna push it. Why not? Let's just keep the stress going.
I got 1-6.
I got 1-6.
You saw him rifle through the medication drawer before he turned his back. That's you don't know what he was doing with said medication. You didn't see what he grabbed, but he was definitely rifling through the medication drawer, which is now covered in green foam. So he definitely did something with medication from the. Not that that's out of the ordinary. He's literally the medical officer, but that's what you saw. What were you saying, Ryan? Sorry.
Oh, I just want to examine her body. I want to
Okay, observation.
see what I can do. I got 1-6.
1-6. You kind of scooch the piles of now, like, what would bright green and red make? Just brown foam?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
dirty brown, reddish foam out of the way, revealing, like, you can see, like, the foam is eating away and has deteriorated a lot of, like, the immediate wet blood and is, like, cauterizing the wounds in places.
Wow.
There is a softball-sized hole in her chest, just below the sternum. You can see rib sticking out, and you can see there's so much blood in her chest that her heart must have been eviscerated during the process.
Jesus. Oh, never mind. Go ahead.
And you can see, like, strange non-human tendon, and, like, almost like a webbing kind of a structure amongst her chest is, like, literally, like, open, which is not, maybe the parasite created that.
So, Walter's going to say, "Oh my God, I think I'm going to throw up." And he is going to run to the bathroom and close the door so that Lance can't see him.
You rush into the bathroom and kind of close the door when you realize that thing ran in here.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting back to Captain Lee, before he comes out of the science lab, he wanted to amend something.
I did.
Right? That's what you texted me about?
Oh no! Well, No. Yeah, I was talking about Grossman. So I'm in the hallway.
Oh, sorry.
I just turned the
cool.
corner, and I am walking with purpose. I have my pistol in my hand, with a chambered round, and as I'm walking with purpose at Grossman, I raise the firearm straight at him, and I basically just, with authority, say, "Grossman, you stop right there."
So Harry, as you angrily come around the corner, wiping the green shit out of your eyes, burning, you like, the first thing you see down the hall is the captain pointing a firearm at you. So continue, Joe.
Oh my God, Harry, your life.
I tell him, "I asked you all to stay in the bay for the sake of this entire mission. So you stop right there, and I'm gonna enclose this entire area."
Is there an intercom in the bathroom? Would I've heard any of this?
No, none of Captain
yelling.
Sergeant
Yeah.
Reed. Sergeant Reed would
I
hear
kind of
this.
hear the captain, and I say, "Captain, we've been, like, we got foam all over us. All right, dude. Like, we're clean. Whatever you put on us, like, the pathogens are gone now because we've been fucking acidified. All right. So, like, we need to make sure that the rest of the prisoners are okay, and I need to be the one to do that."
And
I still am holding the firearm at Grossman, but basically just kind of talk with my gun moving back and forth between the two of you. And I'm like, Sergeant, you know the severity of this situation. I will check on the prisoners. I need you to stay here and keep order. And I walk. I'm still walking as I am holding the gun. I turn to the double doors just to north here. And looking at them, I walk through those doors and use my key card and talk to Mother and basically say that this area of the ship is in lockdown and cannot be unlocked without my authorization. So those doors, the maintenance hatch, are, as far as Mother's concerned, not openable.
Okay.
All right. And
I guess
so
see that
Harry,
I turn to
Captain
Harry
disappear.
and I say, "Hey, can you do your thing again?"
yeah, Harry never stopped. Like even with the gun pointing at him, he was just still like, I didn't get to say what I wanted to the captain, but that's fine. Harry is just going to continue on his way to the science. And when he gets in there, he's going to barricade himself in there.
It's locked. I thought, right?
No, I only locked the double doors and the maintenance door.
Oh,
out
I
of
thought
this.
Lance locked
Yeah,
it. My
that's why I was like, I don't know what he
Lance
thought
locked
he was.
his-
Okay.
Dumb fuck move, Captain, because I still get what I want, and I just keep about myself.
I just don't want you leaving this part of the ship. If you're all
Okay.
contaminated.
So you locked the entrance into the ladder room and the maintenance door in the galley. Correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you see stomping down the hallway from you, Sergeant Reed, leaving green fuzzy footprints. Harry Grossman, just kind of quietly muttering to himself, leaves and enters the science bay. What are you doing? Sergeant Reed.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know it was me. So I'm worried about checking on the prisoners, and I remember that that in medical they have kind of a he has vitals on all of them. And so I go back and try to talk to Walter about the vitals, basically what the vitals are looking like on the prisoners.
Well, you would know that that's in the medical control room, which is where Lance is.
Oh shit! Sorry, I forgot. I didn't
That's okay.
realize it was in that different room.
The medical bay is literally just like a surgery.
So while I'm
bay.
then talking, I would ask then Lance if he can look at the prisoners on vitals and see how they're looking, and if anything is looking off there.
Yeah, as you go to enter, that door is also locked.
Yeah,
you
no,
see
but can I
inside.
talk to him through it?
You can.
Oh, I can't see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to talk to him through it.
Okay.
Yeah, I can look it up, so I'll do that.
All of the vitals are there, so I'm not going to make you do a roll for it. Looking across there are 17 green bars and one red one. So as far as you can see, all 17 other inmates are in the green. I need to pee really bad. I apologize. So I would take a very quick break if anyone else does.
Sure.
I'll be right back. All right. So Lance, you check the vitals of the Hulk. 17 green lights, one red one. So it looks like the other 17 inmates are in the green.
Yeah, Sergeant Reed, looks like there's only one red, and that's the one that you guys were in the room with. So, as far as vitals go, they seem to be fine.
Okay. Thanks for the update. And then I kind of go down and I want to talk to Walter about about basically is on the fact that, you know, it's if the two aliens are connected at all, and what his thoughts are on that.
All right. You head back into the med bay and once again find it empty and the door to the bathroom closed. Cutting to inside said bathroom, it's almost like you weren't even really thinking about it, Walter. And as you slide the door closed to try to get some peace and quiet, you're like, fuck, that thing's in here with me. Looking around slowly, the light kind of slightly flickering from the hard reset of the power. You first look down at your feet and see the kind of slide of red across the metallic floor. And then the red continues up the wall. And you see little scratch marks, like from a cat. And the smear, there's a big smear as that stretches up to the side of the wall to the corner and up. And you see the corner of the entrance into the ventilation shafts is pushed in slightly, the metal bent. And there was no signs of whatever that thing was.
So Walter is just going to think to himself, well, at least it's not actually in here anymore. Walter is going to sit down. He's going to close the lid to the toilet. He's going to sit down on it, and he is going to take out his personal item. This is sort of the memento that reminds him why he's on this job. And he's going to pull this out. He's going to slowly unfold it. And he's going to look at it. I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. But he's just going to kind of look at it and think, well, at least I passed. And he's going to meditate on that for a second. And then he's going to be like, I mean, we're already not going to get paid. He's going to fold it and he's going to put it back in his pocket. And he's just going to close his eyes for a second. He's just like, fucking Christ, we're not even going to get paid anymore. Somebody died. I'm the medical officer. I don't know if there's any coming back from this.
While you're ruminating, you hear muffled through the door Sergeant Reed's voice calling out for you. Again.
Occupied. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Sergeant
Are
Reed,
you in there with the alien?
Sergeant Reed, your first reaction when you entered the med bay is to find Walter at work, but instead you just follow the footprints in the green to the door, and the last thing you remembered was that's where the fucking thing went.
Right. And so I'm asking him through the door, are you in there with it?
I'm just going to respond back, oh, I don't know, Reed. You would have known that, whether if you would have just come on in here when the fucking captain asked you to do it. If you would have done your job, you'd have known the answer to that question.
Sounds like you're real bitter, Walter. You feeling okay?
I'm not even going to answer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a fart noise with my mouth. I'm going to...
You hear a fart noise.
I kick in the door.
Good God.
Again.
This is a running theme.
I'm going to say that I'm going to make you roll for this. Though it's
Okay.
heavily damaged from the last time you tore it open, I'm going to need a close combat. Or heavy machinery, I guess would be more accurate.
Let me
Heavy
see
machinery
what I got
check.
first. Close combat and heavy machinery. Okay, so I'm going to do close combat. That's And I'll do it in this thing. And that
Remember-
is.
Remember, you do your strength and that.
All right. Oh, you do strength and that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you add your close combat plus your strength and add those together,
So then I get to do another 5.
and then you roll your stress along with it.
Sorry. Let me do then another 5d6s. And then my
Damn.
stress is 3 stress. So I would roll 3.
No whammy, no whammy, no whammy.
I forget where I'm doing that at. Shoot, I got out of. Oh, shoot. Did it do? Yeah, it did. Okay, good. I thought I got out of it. All right, so then 3 stress.
Hey!
What'd it do?
You
lost
kicked
it.
the
Oh,
door.
I didn't know you were. I didn't know you were rolling in
D20.
roll
Yeah.
20.
Roll 20, yeah.
I figured.
Okay, so you got 3 successes.
No panic. Yeah.
No panic.
Well
And no
done.
panic?
First of
Yeah.
all, how would you like to do a stunt?
I don't even know what that means, but of
Let
course
me see
I do.
let me see what the stunts options are
combat.
for you here.
She yells parkour
Um,
and does a flip while she kicks it up.
Parkour. Close combat stunts. Technically, this probably should have been a heavy machinery, so I'm going to treat it as a heavy machinery check. Your options are
Break it permanently.
you can get a +1 die to a later roll to save it for later. You can
Okay.
you no longer need to roll again for the same situation. So the next time you want to break a bathroom door down, you just do it.
Walter's
Hell yeah.
Walter's never gonna
fucking-
shit in peace.
Hilarious. You can break it down in half the time. You can break it permanently. You can do it quietly, or you can show off. Those are your options. And you have
I'm gonna-
2 stunt dice, so you can do 2 of those.
I'm gonna show off.
Okay. So how do you show off by breaking the door down again?
I just kind
on
of
Walter?
I break it down. I just make it look really simple and easy. And I stand
Here's
there and
Johnny.
and I just kind of say, I'm sick of your attitude. The sooner we all work together on this thing, the sooner we're gonna, get through this. So, and then I just walk away.
What would you like to do with your second stunt?
Oh, you
Would you
two
like-
stunts?
Yeah, you have 2 d6. You had 3 6s, so you get to do a second stunt, I believe.
I'm back.
You can save a +1 die for later. You can.
Yeah, I'll
you
save
don't.
the die. I'll
Okay.
save a die. Yeah.
Okay. There should be.
And
There
then
should be somewhere
I'm
on
gonna
your
go over,
character sheet. Somewhere.
since Walter doesn't feel like talking about stuff, I'm gonna go then, and I'm heading over to Harry to maybe talk to him about what he's thinking about this alien stuff.
Okay, so you're headed. So she literally opens the fucking thing. You're an asshole, and then leaves. And again, you're just kind of staying there because you're not on the toilet this time. Or were you sitting on it, or were you? I know you closed the lid.
Sorry, I was just sitting on it. I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not actually using the toilet. I was just using it as a seat.
So the door is now permanently broken. It can't be closed again. It's just
Fucking hell.
broken open now. Cutting back to our medical officer or our science officer, as you enter the science bay covered in green antiseptic.
Tim, 2 seconds. I hate to interrupt.
Yeah.
When I sat down with my personal item, did I reduce any stress when I was going through my little?
Do you have stress?
I have
Thought
one.
you did the.
I have
Oh
one.
yeah. Sorry, I
'Cause
thought you removed it all. I didn't know you had it.
Immediately after making that roll, I pushed it because so I took another stress. But so I
Oh
relieved
shit!
that.
I missed that. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
So you can, but that's gonna be it for the act.
Okay, so Harry, back in the science lab, he's got the specimen in the jar. He's going to say, "Mother, closed, um, closed communication, just for the science lab." Um, I've put this specimen on the analysis table, or I don't know what to call it. Um, am I using my talent, which is analysis? It says I can roll observation to gain insight regarding strange and alien artifacts or creatures that you encounter. But I'm assuming in this lab, it's not like I'm just like dissecting. Am I putting it on a table and it's like Mother is running analysis and labs on it, or is it all physical lab
It's
work?
more you'd be doing the grunt work and then reporting to Mother.
Okay. So
You don't have an auto dock on the ship. They're too
Okay.
expensive.
So the first thing I would do would be go to my unfinished scientific papers, which is all about research, alien life research, stuff that I've dreamed about, stuff that I've hypothesized, and reading over my notes and stuff my life's work. Would that reduce the stress in this moment, or because I've got this
Absolutely.
alien?
You have
Okay.
completely shifted gears from the horror of the last several minutes. Even the gun being pointed at you didn't phase you. Like, this is too important.
Yeah.
So I would say absolutely go and remove a stress as you
Okay.
sit down and begin going to work. If you'd like to use your analyze talent,
I would.
do you roll for that, or is it just happens with your talent?
It says you can roll for observation to gain insight regarding strange and alien artifacts or creatures that you encounter.
Okay, so remove a stress first,
Okay. That's
and then
down
you
to
can
6.
give me a observation.
So observation is 8, and then I've got 6 stress. So I'll do observation and wits, total of 8, 2 6s. So
Nice.
and then just 6 of these. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Oh, fuck, that's 2 panics.
You only ever get one, so it doesn't
Okay.
really matter how many ones you roll. So go and take a stress.
I got 2 more 6s on that, but yeah.
Unfortunately, the roll fails.
Okay.
So take a stress, if you didn't already, and roll on the panic table, which is a d6 plus the number of stress.
It's a d6. So 8 d6. Hey, say goodbye to Harry. That's two ones. Or do I count the total? Or do I count up the total?
It's the 1d6 plus the number of stress you have. So you roll a d6 and then
sorry.
add it to the number of stress.
I got that wrong. Sorry. So
It's okay.
1d6 plus 7. So that's a 6 plus 7 for 13 total. I shit my pants and die immediately.
Okay, so you put the specimen on the table, and begin. You make your first incision towards the top of the creature. You barely nick it when you start hearing this like, which gets louder and louder and louder. You can see smoke rising up from the creature. You kind of take a step back and you can see that it's now burning a hole through the lab table, and down through the bulkhead. You rolled flee. You, in a panic, you have no idea what's happening. This thing, whatever it is, seems to have some sort of acid for blood. And it is now burning through the table, to the floor, and through the whole of the ship. You flee. You must flee to a safe place and refuse to leave it. You won't attack anyone and won't attempt anything dangerous. You are not allowed to make a retreat roll. If you have any enemy engaged, you don't have any enemy engaged. So you have to run somewhere and stay there and hide there, and you do not want to leave. Anyone that sees you is going to also have to do a panic roll. So where are you going?
So I went out of my way to say that I barricaded myself in this room. So can I even leave this room? Because I was
Oh,
trying
you
to make it.
barricaded yourself like
I,
with a
I
chair or something?
I said that I barricaded myself in here because I didn't want anybody to come fuck with me because I thought the captain might come back.
Well, you
So
have to leave. So,
okay.
I would say even if you like lock the door, you like run into the door and then like unlock it to flee. Where are you fleeing to?
Um, I guess I'm gonna run out into the hallway and I guess run smack dab into Sergeant Valerie. Like, don't even see her. Like, almost like trying to run through a wall. And I'm sure Harry just crumples when he hits her.
Okay, so you're gonna flee to the hallway,
Yes, sir.
and you you flee to a safe place and refuse to leave it. Running out of the science lab, Sergeant Reed is the medical officer, eyes wide with terror.
Science
The moment you
officer.
see him, you know that something is desperately wrong, and I need Sergeant Reed to give me a panic test. So roll a d6 and add the number of panic you currently have, and we'll see what happens to Sergeant Reed.
D6 plus then the dice that I have for
The number of stress dice you have. Yeah, so roll
Okay.
1d6 and then add the number of stress dice you have to the roll.
So that's a 5 plus 3. 8.
An 8. You begin trembling at the sight of his complete terror. All skill rolls using agility are going to suffer a -2 modification until your panic stops. So let's try to remember that. I'm gonna keep a note for that under your name. He comes into the hallway, slams into the corner, and just like crumples down into his butt. And you see, things in the science lab begin skittering towards a ever-growing hole now in the center of the science lab. The emergency door of the science lab shuts. The proximity alarm of them leaving the med bay, which turned off eventually when they righted it, now comes back on. And there is a message over the ship's intercoms. Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. And Mother has locked down Science Lab.
Hit the button, and I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing out there? You were supposed to stay in one spot. Can't you do anything fucking right? You had one job.
Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. It just keeps repeating over and over again. So, cutting from that moment to slightly before this happened, Captain Asher, where are you headed? We'll say right now the alarm has not yet happened, as we're going back in time a few seconds here.
Yeah, I'm walking singularly of purpose to the Hulk, past the stairs, past the ladder, and probably make it through the second set of double doors before the siren goes off.
So, as we're still in stealth mode, you can enter the Hulk and can go anywhere in the Hulk within this time frame. Where you want to go in the Hulk? You were going to the Hulk, right, to check it out?
I did, yeah. I'm going to go to the first pod, like first cell on the left.
As you enter the Hulk to take a left to the first cell pod, you hear a sound of like a metal hitting like the ground or hitting metal, and you hear a low hiss.
And I still have my sidearm. But I also am I just carrying the tracker at this point? Like it says it's mountable, but mountable to what?
It can mount onto like vehicles and weapons and stuff, but you're just holding it in your hand.
Okay.
Looking around, if you want to give me an observation check for what that noise might have been.
Yes. You said observation?
Observation, please.
So 5 plus 3. I have 2 stress. No ones on the stress. I got 1-6 on the.
You kind of wheel around and look up as the sound seemed to have come from above you. You see a cloud of mist coming down from a series of power relays in the ceiling. And you're like, okay, it's probably just a power relay venting heat. That's not abnormal due to the power loss and everything. You kind of wheel around, take a left, and head into the first pod of cells. Which cell are you going into?
First. The
First on
one
the left?
straight. Yep.
Oh, straight ahead?
No, for the bottom. How do I do that?
You can just hold left click and it'll ping. Wherever.
Oh, okay.
You insert your key card and there's a snap hiss as the door opens, and you're relieved to see the normal kind of crystalline fog of a working hibernation pod. What would you like to do?
Do I just see feet?
You just see feet. The entire pod is essentially on like a sliding table type thing, and it's slid like into the hull of the ship for safety and for like housing.
Slide it.
So like they're put in it and then it slides into the wall.
Can I slide it out without disturbing the cryo?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a button, you kind of push it, and there's a as it kind of slides about 6 feet towards you. Still can't quite see inside, however. There's just kind of a hoar frost on it. Perhaps maybe if you wipe it away, you could see.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wipe the top, like where the head is of the person.
You kind of go to wipe, and just as you're wiping, there's a shudder in the abdominis, and the alarms start going off. There's one single yellow light inside this cell towards the top of the thing, and you start hearing that mother alarm. Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. And as you look from the flashing light down to your wipe in the surface of the dome, you can see that this inmate is also covered by a strange alien creature.
Okay. I hit the button.
I'm going to give you a
back.
stress for this.
Yeah, that's fine. I slide it back and go to where I can talk to Mother about the status of just kind of like cussing under my breath that these people can't listen to anything I say.
Okay. Several seconds, probably about 10 to 15. Where do you want to go to check with Mother?
Where do I have to go?
The nearest computer.
So I can lock doors and stuff and tell Mother to do stuff with doors, but I can't like interface with her.
No, you need to find a computer console to find out like real information
Okay.
about the ship.
I'm gonna go towards the bridge.
As you
Actually,
begin,
I'm
okay.
not. All right, I'm gonna go down to the B deck.
Okay, so you're gonna head around the corner, enter the ladder room to head down to B Tech. That's your second area in your movement in stealth mode. About the time you start heading down the ladder, you hear a second notification. The rest of you do as well. Hull breach detected. Deck A, Science Lab. Hull breach detected. Deck B, Life Support System. And it keeps repeating. Now there is a second hull breach on Deck B in the life support systems. I'm going to lock down that room as well. So now the Mother is repeating on repeat, lights flashing throughout the ship. 2 hull breaches. Deck A, Science Lab. Deck B, Life Support Systems Control. Cutting back to Lance. As this all transpires over the course of several seconds, you feel the Indominus shudder, and then the alarm starts going through. First, 1 hull breach on Deck A, then a second on Deck B. That's not good for a million reasons, but especially life support systems. What are you doing, Lance?
I'm just muttering to myself like incompetent motherfuckers. And then I am searching through the systems that I have available in this room to see what I can do, if anything, about the life support.
Give me a contact check.
Oh, I panicked.
Oh, anyone? First, we'll do yours now, to be fair, Lance. But everyone else, other than the captain, I'm going to give you all a stress for hearing that there are 2 hull breaches on the ship.
Just one?
Harry, yours, I'm not going to give you an additional one because you panicked for it already. So, Harry, I'm not going to give you an additional one. But Sergeant Reed and Walter are both going to get an additional stress. Captain already got his. So, Lance, what was your roll? You're panicking?
I am panicking.
That makes sense from what you just heard. So roll a d6, add your stress.
Okay, so that's a 7 total.
7. As you go to check on the systems, your right hand is shaking. Thankfully, no one is around you to see it, and so that's all that's happening right now. Is you're kind of, it's really bad for a pilot, but you kind of fumble around the keys, and Mother just keeps repeating, both on comms throughout the ship and on the console you're seeing, you just keeps repeating hull breach. It mentions in the readout that she has like full on locked down, like airlocked those 2 bays, and they are venting into space, which is, you have no idea how that would even happen.
Yeah, I am totally clueless where I am. Well, I already failed that roll, so I don't know what else I can do. He's too much of a coward to go out of this room, so I think for now he's just feeling really shitty and looking at his trembling hand and like, how am I gonna fucking fly? Can I even get to the deck or the bridge that he would need to get to? Yeah, there's not much else he can do at this point.
Yeah, there's also like what the fuck was up with that hidden distress signal as well. Cutting back to Walter, as you're sitting on the not so private toilets after Sergeant Reed stormed off, you too now hear the double sirens of 2 hull breaches on deck A and deck B.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna run out of the bathroom, and I'm gonna yell into the med control, and she's like, "Hey, Lance, that sounds bad. Is that bad?"
Yeah, that's really fucking bad.
So, so Mother announced where the hull breaches were coming from? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And one of them was the science. The
deck A science lab, deck B life support systems.
Okay. So Walter is going to take a breath. He's like, well, at least I passed. They'll never be able to take that from me. And he's going to run out into the hallway and start running down the hallway towards the science office.
As you get there, you see a horrified Sergeant Reed, like up against the wall, and a like completely annihilated from stress Harry Grossman, like crumpled in the corner.
Okay. I'm gonna run right past. I'm gonna run right past it. But as I do run right past Reed, I'm gonna make really deliberate eye contact and make like a sarcastic face, like. But I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna make really deliberate eye contact, and then run past Sergeant Reed and go straight to Harry. I was like, Harry, what happened? I'm gonna slap him across the face. Harry, what happened?
You're snapped out of it by a quick hand across the face, Harry.
I've never seen anything like it. I didn't get a half an inch incision into the whatever the creature is, and it's just pure acid. Like the whole breach is my fault, but I would have never thought what I just saw was like capable. Like this creature, whatever this thing is, it's deadly inside for sure. Like we've got to get out of here. We're all dead. Like this is the end of us.
So I can't use. Can I use my calming presence again? Has it been a turn?
It has been a turn.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my calming presence. I don't know how much stress you have. I'm gonna give Harry. You've got 7. I'm gonna use my calming presence. I'm gonna give Harry a big hug. I'm gonna say, Harry, at least we're not getting paid, and so you're not gonna have any money to have to pay your wife any alimony. So
And
at least there's that.
And Harry's gonna linger. He's gonna linger on this hug longer than normal for the coworker status that we have, but he doesn't have any physical touch in his life, so this hug is like
That's nice.
A couple things to point out for clairvoyance. The face hugger has been destroyed, and so you no longer have the specimen. Sergeant Reed, from what you're picking up with this conversation, is that this thing about the size of a king crab has acid for blood strong enough to eat through 2 decks of the fucking Indominus. That information is fucking insane. Continue.
Walter, when you were you able to study the body? Do we know, was this prisoner from a different place than all the other prisoners? Like, are there other possible aliens in the Hulk? Like, what did you find out?
Well, what I found out was that the green flame retardant foam cauterizes wounds. And so whatever information I could have gleaned was absolutely destroyed when Top Gun over there decided that he was going to deploy countermeasures to keep me into the med bay. So I don't fucking know. Here's what I know.
You didn't accidentally push the vent the room button.
I don't know. I don't know, Harry. I know that we're not getting paid because there's already been at least one death from the clients, or not clients, the prisoners. So, and it just seems like the terror is escalating, and now we have 2 hull breaches. So, again, good news, bad news. Bad news is we're probably all gonna die. Good news is your wife is never gonna see a dime of that alimony.
But there's other good news. You and the sergeant killed the alien in the bathroom before y'all left, right?
Oh God,
That's
no!
the good
no, no! It's in the vents.
There's one of these alive
Oh yeah.
in the
I don't-
vents, and Harry's immediately gonna go back down to his butt, looking up in the air, like, no,
No, we didn't
no,
kill it.
No.
Remember when Reed was told to go like check it out in the bathroom? Yeah, and then she fucked off. So here's it. Like it's in the vents. I have no idea where this thing is.
Fuck, I want to add another point of stress back to Harry. He's like, no, this is, you don't know how bad this is. Fuck. Kim, Mother.
You can take a stress if you'd like.
No, I don't want to do that. Harry,
No, I'm just letting you know.
Harry wants to say to Mother, is there any way to close off the vents in deck A? Is there any sensors that can tell us where this creature's at?
Mother does not talk in that way. You'd have to find the nearest computer that you'd be able to get an answer is in the galley. Actually, no, the nearest one would be the cryo vault, which is you're right next to it. Basically, if there's a computer on the map, then you can access Mother readouts from there. She just all Mother is saying is just the like pre-made distress signal of the 2 deck breaches. She's just saying it over and over again until it's turned off, essentially.
Yeah. So Harry's gonna just push past Walter and Valerie, like, we've got to get to Mother. We've got to get this contained.
Okay.
So
Are you 2 following her? Or following him? Sorry.
Walter is not.
Okay. So Harry's going to move into the cryo vault. Sergeant Reed, what are you up to? Now he learned all this information in the span of a few seconds.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into the gallery. I'm gonna sit down for a second. I'm gonna grab my little reassurance that's in my pocket and rub on it for a little bit and try to just think of what I can do. If there's a beer in there, I'll crack open a beer.
There is absolutely access to beer in the galley. Still partially covered in, it's mostly sloughed off you, but you're still covered in green slime, essentially. You plop down on the table. You see there's a little bird centrifuge kind of going back and forth in the center of the table next to a pot of fake plants, and crack open a beer. And I imagine you just chugged the whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
from what
sure.
from what I'm imagining. So go and remove 2 stress as you do so.
Nice.
While this is all happening, Walter, where are you headed? Are you staying where you are in this turn, or are you heading somewhere else?
Walter is going to try and go to the science lab.
You head around the corner. And you can see that there are warnings next to the klaxons that are going off. The warning states, warning, depressurized area, gravity suit required. And you can see that like the on the doors to like the main rooms, think of it like a almost like a submarine door where there's like big red locks that jam into place in case of this exact event. I mean, you're not getting into this door without like a cutting torch and a enviro suit.
Okay. Walter doesn't know what he's going to do right now. Walter's going to go to the galley and look for a very large cafeteria-style tray.
All right. You head into the galley to find said tray. Lance, are you staying in the science or the life support or medical control room?
At this point, he's kind of like done the math, like hull breach, 2 decks. He's like, this locked door isn't gonna save me from anything. This ship is fucking going down. So I'd like to unlock the door and then meet the others in the galley.
Door unlocks, and you head into the galley as well.
So, hey guys.
No hard feelings, right?
Oh my god.
I'm going to turn to Reed and say, hey, in the name of science, can I borrow your baton real quick? In the name of medical science.
Of mine. You cannot
Okay.
borrow anything of mine. I can't stand you.
Now she's got you marked as a rival, Walter.
Yeah, so we're kind of fucked, I noticed, with the hull breach. What's that all about?
Talk to Harry. He's not looking so good.
I knew you were going to throw me under the bus. I knew it.
Harry said something about acid blood.
Acid blood? That went through the ship?
Those aren't my words. I'm just... By the way,
Alright.
the little alien guy is in the vents.
Oh, I locked the vents. Didn't you guys hear the noise?
Probably.
I mean, I did accomplish that, didn't I?
Perfect.
You
Then he's
did, but
trapped in the vents.
The way that you
Had it open.
the way you understand how the vents work is it's an iris, and it leaves a hole in the middle about this big.
Okay.
Would you say it's about the
So-
size of a softball?
So
Okay.
these vents are like sphincters, and so I closed the sphincter and locked them.
Close the sphincter in the bathroom, baby.
And
But it still got in there, didn't it?
yeah, I mean, you know, you can only tighten something down so much. It's, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right, so I think we should get ourselves to maybe the life boats, essentially, and get the fuck off of this dying ship. I don't know about you guys, but that's kind of my plan.
Is it the pilot or the captain that goes down with the ship?
It's the captain, thankfully. Fuck that. That's not my kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Where are the lifeboats on the boat again? Because we're locked in this area.
They're up near the front, so
I don't.
No.
Above
Captain's
table, I
party
don't think
captain,
you
we
know.
never who-
You don't. I don't think you know that. I locked.
No, you guys don't know you're locked in there. He did that without saying anything.
Okay.
Oh.
You don't know you can't get out of that.
Okay. So
I did it on the other side of the doors.
I thought he did it right when I was going to try to get into the hall. Or was that not right then? So I just assumed.
Oh
I
no
knew
no
I
no
couldn't
no
get
yeah
in.
yeah you did try to get
Yeah.
out, so you do know.
Yeah, I was
Sorry.
trying
know
to
that
get
you
out.
know at least those doors are locked, but you don't know that the hatch to maintenance is locked. It's in the room you're in.
Oh, the maintenance hatch.
Yeah, you
'Cause
don't know that's
doesn't-
locked.
Isn't that like a? It's like a bypass to the lower level. Is that what we had
It
described?
connects to the maintenance hatch in the Hulk.
Okay.
All right, so
I
yeah,
guess
the
I
lifeboats
just
are
know
up
that
front.
those two doors to the that captain locked us into this area is what I'm assuming, because when I tried to get into the Hulk, he locked me out.
All right, well, I don't want to be stuck on this ship. The lifeboats are up front, so maybe we got to figure out how to get up towards the bridge area.
If I remember, Harry's pretty good with doors.
He's pretty good
Yeah,
with
I kind of
doors.
think like if he would have just stayed in there, like we wouldn't have some of this problem right now.
But he would be in a decompressed area of the ship, right?
I mean, he probably would have.
No. If he
probably
would have
cut it
stayed
open
in
in
the
the room you
medical
were
bay
in.
like the captain told him, he wouldn't have
Nope.
gone and cut
No
the
shit.
thing.
If he wouldn't have run away on his panic roll, like Harry could have died, like in that moment.
But holding it?
Yeah,
Jesus.
but his role was to flee, so that's what
Is
saved his
the
life.
slithering thing connected to the other one? Do we know that? Those two connected at all?
What?
It's
Like, if
unknown.
you kill one, do you kill the other?
Oh, no, it would have pulled him through the hole
In the ship, yeah. So,
Yeah, it
Lance,
would've-
what are the odds of this deck of the ship imploding?
I mean, I'm not a physicist, but like the airlocks seem to be working, right? Like Mother said that she's locked those down.
You could also
concern
turn
would
off
be-
the warning alarm from the computer in that room if you guys want to, because she's just repeating over and over again.
Yeah, I'll go ahead.
Hull
And do that.
breach detected. Okay, so that goes off. The lights are still flashing, but the message is off.
So Walter,
I'm more worried about the life support being affected by this. I don't know what the time frame is, but if that part of the ship is suffering some sort of breach and things are getting, I assume, sucked out into space, like I don't want to be on this ship any longer than I have to be.
Yeah, I agree. How do we get out? How do we get there?
Who's getting sucked off?
Well, not you, because you panicked.
wrong.
I think on that question, how do we get there? We're gonna cut to Harry Grossman in the next room. You enter the cryo vault alone. The alarm still blaring. Hull breach detected. Deck A, science lab. Deck B, life support systems. What are you doing, Harry?
Mother, I want to access Mother and say, is there a status of the creature that's in the vents? Have we closed the vents? What's the status of the hull breach? Like, what is our life support percentage?
You do not need to do a comm check roll for this, as the readout is going to be on the screen and you can see. Alien life form location unknown. Deck A science lab and Deck B life support systems have been quarantined. You require a pressure suit to enter those rooms. Vent control is located in Deck B life support system.
Is there, would Harry be able to look around and see if there's a pressure suit in this room, or would he know just from his time on the ship where
You would
pressure
know.
suits are at?
That there are pressure suit lockers in the Deck A airlock area and the Deck B airlock area. Each life supports, I will ping them on the map. Yeah, someone's already doing it. Yep, those are the life support lockers. Each locker contains 2 compression suits for a total of 8 amongst the 4 lockers. 2 on A deck, 2 on B deck.
So Harry would like to use Mother to talk to the whole ship and say our only chance of survival is to get to the pressure suits and get to deck B, and the vent. What'd you call it, Tim? The vent.
Vent control for the
The vent
entire ship is in there.
We know at the last we've seen the creature. It's in the vents. The only way to close the vents off fully is down below in deck B below the science lab. I'm willing to go. I am going to leave the cryo vault now to get a pressure suit. Will someone come with me? Because
I'll go.
I can't see you raise your hand. Okay.
Are you going to enter the galley? There's a door in the cryo vault to the galley.
Oh. Yeah, I guess instead of using Mother, if I'd have walked in here and seen them, I don't give a shit about the captain.
Okay, so you don't broadcast that copy.
Yeah. So I tell these people, I just, like, we know that the last we saw the creature, it's in the vents. To access the capability of closing the vents completely, we need pressure suits. We've got to get the pressure suits on and get into the lower level to close the vents. Who wants to come with me?
I'll do it.
I think the vents, as maybe you missed the sphincter demonstration, but I don't think the vents close all the way.
Maybe you missed the demonstration where this thing popped out of a fucking chest, so I don't know if the sphincter of a vent is going to hold this thing.
So just for
But
clairvoyance, the only place you closed the vent was in medical. They're open everywhere else.
Right. I'm just trying
So
to
it
tell him
allows air to pass through still,
Yeah.
but blocks entrance.
it'll still stay open a hole, kind of like the one that you put in the ship.
They probably also tell you, Harry, that you are locked in this area of the ship.
So why we're locked in here? Where's the captain? Like, why are we locked here? We need to close this ship off and get the fuck off of this ship. Y'all didn't see what I saw. It, like, you can blame me all you want, Lance, the same way I'm gonna blame you for the rest of my fucking life for spraying me with that shit when you didn't need to. But we need to get off this ship. We are all dead if we don't. The only thing I know to do is to close these vents, and to do that, we have to get those pressure suits. So let's figure this fuck out, because if not, we're all gonna die.
You're right.
Onward.
Green goo is the same thing as a hull breach. Point taken. I'm sorry for the green goo. And
Do you still have the glasses on? Because I want to rip the glasses off of his
No, I
face
put 'em-
and
put 'em on here. And you, wherever you were, you missed the conversation about we need to get to the lifeboats and get off this ship.
listen, Flyboy. You don't know as much as I do, and from what I've seen, you're probably going to be the first one to die, but I'm not going to be the next.
You're not welcome on my lifeboat.
I think on where is the captain as they continue to have this argument.
It's not
We're
enough
going to
room on
cut.
my door. My floating door.
Oops. We're going to cut to Captain Lee
Titanic reference.
several minutes before what's currently transpiring in the galley above him. Captain Lee, I switched the maps to deck B.
Yep.
You head down the ladder to deck B as the now second hull breach is being called out by Mother, where are you headed?
So I'm going to.
Get screwed, losers.
Thanks, buddy.
Did we just get roasted by
That was my
Absolutely.
son
Zane?
saying get screwed,
Annihilated.
losers. Where's? Oh, okay. I see. I first off want to go where pretty much right into the engine room where I know there's a computer terminal to talk to Mother. So
Okay.
I, kind of, I know the ship real well, so I'm walking around pretty deliberate. And put in my access key and basically just ask Mother if the breaches are contained and if anyone died.
As you step into the engine room to get to the computer console, you slip on something, almost like a banana peel.
Oh,
And you look down and you can see that there's a strange translucent like pile of skin
Oh
on the floor.
like a mold.
Exactly.
Give me an observation check.
Here we go.
So that's 3 stress now.
Fucking waiting for this.
Oh, 3 stress. That's cute.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm pretty chill, bro. What do I have to get if I? What's bad on stress? 1 or 6?
Ones. You want 6s. 6s on stress die still count as successes. A single 1 on any stress die fails the roll, and you panic.
I did that.
You panicked. Rightly so, seeing whatever the fuck this thing is you just like slipped in. It looks like a snake skin.
Yeah.
Go and roll d6, add the number of stress dice you have, and we'll consult the table. Oh, you also gain a stress
So
from
roll
panicking.
1d6.
You should lock
I do
yourself
or
in
don't?
there. You might be
You gain a stress die from panicking. So roll a d6 and then add the number
Okay.
of stress you have.
Including the one I just added.
Correct.
Okay, so 1d6, got a 4, plus what I now have is 4 stress, so 8.
8. Your hand also begins trembling uncontrollably as you go to click on the console. You just can't. Your brain kind of trying to slice through the fear of whatever the fuck that is on the floor and what it might mean. You're trying to access Mother. You're going to get a -2 mod to agility checks until you stop panicking. And stop panicking is like you need to find a safe place for 5 to 10 minutes to try to relieve stress. So I'm going to put under Captain Lee that you are trembling. You access Mother. What information were you looking for?
Want it to be my gunning hand. I definitely want it to be my gun hand. So
Okay.
like
You're clattering on the table.
Oh yeah. Like Humphrey Bogart in that movie. He's like, see how close you were? See how close you were? He shows this gun
Oh,
hand
hell yeah.
shaking. Anyway, I want to. Yeah, I basically want to ask. I'm asking Mother if the hull breaches are contained and if any members of the crew died.
Breaches are contained. Both life support, control, and the science lab will require suits to enter.
Okay.
The
Are
Where
life support
the-
systems stable?
the well-being of the crew is unknown. What was your last question? Sorry.
If support systems compromised?
life support systems are currently holding.
Great. I am. Are we still in a stable orbit?
Negative. The explosive decompression has returned us to a decaying orbit. Immediate attention is needed.
Is that announced over the entire ship or just to the?
No. It's
No,
just
I'm
what
reading
Captain
on the
Lee is
screen.
Captain Lee is
Oh,
reading.
Gotcha.
As you're reading this, you hear as the door behind you going into the power core room opens.
Into which door?
I shakily hand immediately turn and aim my pistol at the noise, and hold it there for a minute.
The
to
door
see if
closes again.
anything's there.
You kind of point the gun at the door, and you remember something that Grossman was blabbering about: doors malfunctioning.
Oh yeah, about malfunctioning doors. Yeah. So I just immediately dismiss it and get up to go to refrigeration.
Okay. So you move back into the hallway and then into the next
It's
zone
as far as I can go.
at the end of your turn. It's about this time that you hear the repeating message from Mother go off. Do we want to take a quick
I'll
break
take
if anyone needs bathroom or anything? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeremy.
I can't talk to anyone individually using the intercom or Mother unless I guess which room they're in by themselves. Correct?
Correct. Yes. You don't know where anyone else on deck A would be, and you can either talk to a room or the entire ship. You guys don't have comms on currently.
Yeah, that's fine. I just was curious about something. Okay. Yeah, so I make it that far. My goal is 2 more rooms over. Or I guess more than that. And my next turn I can go to this like breezeway and then the hallway, right? And there's a door and then refrigeration.
Correct. Moving back to deck A. Do we need to take a bio break, or is everyone good?
I'm good.
Drink break, bio break,
I'm good.
I put my
Okay.
space diaper in. So
space diaper. You're all arguing about, what to do, how to get to the into the life support, how to get to the lifeboats. There's back and forth going on between Lance and Harry. What are you guys doing in this moment?
I'm not waiting around here to die. If y'all say the doors are locked, I'm going to see if I can get them unlocked to get to the suits. Because as much as I hate her, I'd love to see my ex-wife's face before I fucking down this ship with you people.
First smart thing you said.
So I'm gonna ask Lance.
Lance.
Lance. I'm gonna ask Lance.
Now he dots.
If those rooms are contained, excuse me. If those rooms are contained, as long as we don't go in those rooms, isn't it safe to assume that we're insulated from the hull breach? Because here's what I'm
As in-
thinking. Is that we're in, even if it's stable, an orbit around Jupiter, which is, if we go into one of those ejection lifeboats, we could end up like we're just floating around in space in hypersleep, in cryosleep. We could end up in one of those pods for, I don't know, like 57 years.
Just ballpark random number, 57.
I mean, here's it. What I'm saying is that, like, we have two options. We either try our best with this ship to get back on a course back to Earth, or we jettison from the lifeboats and we just float listlessly in space for an unknown amount of time. I don't know if that's even better.
So, Tim, I'm having trouble remembering last session. So there was like some sort of time frame that you gave me as far as like getting back to Earth at basically, if we were able to straighten everything out and go back in cryo, it would only be like a matter of, we wouldn't know, but it would be like weeks. But it was years if we could not do that and we had to fly not in cryo.
Like 50 something years or something.
No, it's not. It's not that long. No, it's 2 weeks in cryo. At 2 weeks in cryo at FTL.
Yeah.
In an escape pod, it could be years.
And what I know, like,
You could
the
crash
drawing
land on the
doesn't
prison
show,
planet.
like, there's no pods, like cryopods in the lifeboat. It doesn't look like, or are there?
There are. I tried to add them to the map, but it just cluttered up the escape pod too much. So there are how many seats are in the pods?
3, maybe.
So I would say there's 2 seats and like a control seat. So I would say there's 2 pods in each lifeboat.
Okay.
No, 3 pods because there's 6 of you. Or 5.
Okay. So
3 in each.
As far as lifeboats, there's 3 pods in there. So I don't think it's like jettison the pod. I think it's like the pod is in the lifeboat. So you're right. We would just be hoping for a miracle to get anywhere near Earth. But if we can't correct what's going on this ship, I mean, I don't know. I currently don't know the status of the orbit. I stabilized it before I came back here, but I don't know now that we've had something go just catastrophically wrong back here. I'm not certain we're still on a good orbit.
Lance, I would say that as long as the breach is not growing, you're safe from. They're both quarantined. So as long as whatever happened in the science lab and below is not growing, you should be safe for the most part. It just the life support systems could be damaged, which is obviously not good.
Right.
Do we really want to bring those aliens to Earth?
Why would we bring them to Earth? It's the size of a squirrel, right? It burst out of somebody's chest, but it's the size of the squirrel. And you have a baton.
It can eat through acid. It would eat through my baton in a second.
Well,
It ate through the ship 2 levels.
You don't know if that little squirrel can do that, but you know that the other thing is dead.
I know that it's an alien that can do that on that ship, so I don't know why we would bring that back to Earth. I feel like that would be very dangerous.
So it seems your options right now, guys, and I'm going to say that the turn that you take in the galley together is safe enough for each of you to remove the stress.
perfect.
So Harry, everyone but the captain can remove the stress.
Fuck the captain.
It seems your current options are thus: try to break through the bulkhead door, and to get into the rest of the ship, or try to. You do not know that the maintenance hatch is locked. So the maintenance hatch would be a second option to travel from the galley to the Hulk. Or your third option would be to travel through the vents, as they are currently not locked
Have another
Mm.
beer.
or closed. Or just drink it until this whole thing blows over.
Grab a pint.
I think
To
the
the Winchester.
lifeboats are a false sense of safety. Sure, we'd be off of this ship, which is clearly in peril and has an alien on board. But I'm not sure that hopping into a lifeboat and then just sort of floating randomly in like we don't even know that we would be rescued. We just wouldn't be on this ship, is all I'm saying. We would
What
be.
if we got your little squirrel onto a lifeboat and then jettison the lifeboat?
I think that's a great idea. Or we trick it into going into the science lab with like a little
Why
red cape.
didn't we capture it and fucking send it off instead of study it? That it would have been a good idea.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fucking Harry.
I'm not in the room with you, but I did ask you to go look.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, no, the one we had is.
There we
So
go.
I think we should make a break for those pressure suits because I think one way or another we're gonna have to deal with this whole breach.
Well, I know there's some by the bridge. Harry, you said you're going to try and get through these doors?
If they're locked, I'm gonna give it a go because we gotta get these suits to get to what I think can give us some time. And Lance, I've gotta let you know I really don't like, but I don't like a lot of people.
Cool, man. Good talk. Go get through those doors.
Hey, maybe you can date his wife after this.
I'm off people after this.
So who's going to the spacesuits? Because I would love to
I
go.
thought-
I think
thought it was
we're
me
all
and
gonna
you.
go.
Perfect. How do we feel about going through the vents? Because here's what I'm thinking. Hear me out. Ross, if you were to give me your baton and I go into the vents, I could have something to I could defend myself from whatever might be in the... And it's the size of a squirrel, so admittedly, I'm not terribly worried about it. I'll take a pointed stick.
I rummage my pocket and I give him a toothpick.
I don't think that's not quite the same.
Just love that you keep asking for this baton. She's just like, fuck you.
Yeah, I don't even acknowledge it.
All right, well, then we're going to have to figure out how to get through these doors.
All right, Harry, you gonna
No
try
shit.
to?
So we're gonna try to go down before we go get the suits. Like, I'm.
Well, no. If you get to the door, you can go through the Hulk to the airlock room.
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
Because the ladder just goes down to B deck, but you can go through that space. to get
Okay.
down. All right, so you,
So
you head
just-
out into the hallway.
Okay.
Just looking at these bulkhead doors, you're not gonna be able to open those doors. You know, it's not even worth trying.
Put my dice back down.
You would need a cutting torch to get through these doors.
Would the maintenance jack that I've got give me any kind of? It's a +1 to heavy machinery.
The maintenance jack would not open these doors, but they would open the maintenance shaft.
Okay, so I look at these doors and I'm like, I can't do this, but maybe I can give it the maintenance hatch a crack.
Perfect. Let's do it.
Heading back into the galley with the maintenance shack, you can normally you just kind of and open it because it's like it uses like the leverage of the maintenance jack, but you can see that the maintenance door is locked, which means it's going to be much harder to open. So the captain also seemed to have locked this door as well. But you can still give it a try if you'd like.
If I attempt this, is this a strength and heavy machinery, or is
This is going to be a heavy machinery -2. So you would lose 2 dice.
So that would take me from a 4 to a 2, and then my 5 stress die.
Hey, those 5 stress die give you an opportunity to succeed.
That's
Someone
true.
else could always try it. You don't have to do it. It's just going to be a -2 check to whoever tries to open this maintenance shaft.
That's
Yeah, mine would be a 2, guys.
You're ahead of me.
I would only have my stress die, which is 2.
You would have 1. You always get 1 die.
Yeah, you'd always have your base stat dice.
You know, mine's 7, but 5 of those 7 will be stress. So, nobody's stepping up, and I'm ready to die. Harry's just fucking...
Yeah, dude. I don't think I have anything better than you do.
Ah! No stress. 2 of the I didn't get on my 2 base die. I didn't get a 6, but I got 2 6s on my stress and no no 1s.
That's
Perfect.
amazing. I wish I had that recorded. So seeing that no one's willing to fucking step up, Harry fucking Grossman has to do it himself as always. So you push through the group and you fucking with all your might pull it and the doors open, revealing
Just fucking
Maintenance
alien just
shaft.
rips my face off.
Wow, Harry, you've been lifting? Got me a little wet over here.
revealing the maintenance shaft. Hello.
If it wasn't for me, we'd all already be dead.
You guys
Kind of
can't stay in one place ever. Would I hear an alarm again like last time?
No.
Not this time?
No, not for the maintenance shaft.
Some would say Harry was very roguelike in that break-in.
Exactly.
Just Harry.
So you guys see now looking down the ladder going down into the maintenance shaft.
After you, Sergeant. After you, Sergeant.
She's frozen.
Oh, she is. I thought she was just staring me down.
Sorry. Hey, yeah, what's up? I missed that.
You said you were going to go down the ladder, and then we would follow you.
Did I say that?
I also feel like I'm watching what's the
I'm
movie?
fine going down first.
M. Night Shyamalan movie where the ghosts like walk behind people, and every time I look at Greenlee, there's like a person that I don't know walking. There she goes again.
Sense. Sixth Sense.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Is she gonna like tell me that someone's feeding her pine sol in her soup or something?
Swing away, Meryl. Swing away. Yeah.
Let's see what you did there, because that's the alien M. Night Shyamalan.
All right, I go down.
You head
Talk
down
to-
into the maintenance shaft. Down
I believe
about 12-foot ladder down into. It's kind of warm down here, as this is essentially like electrical conduits and a cooling system access. And you see that there's a door that leads further into the maintenance shaft.
I look around and inspect everything because I don't want them to come down if it's not clear. So I guess I just want to make sure it's clear before anyone else comes down.
Yeah, there's only about 6 feet until a door, so nothing's in the room with you.
Okay, so I call up to everyone that it's all clear. Come down.
What was that? It's that.
What was that?
I think.
What Sorry, Savannah sent me like an Elon and Trump fighting, and it was Brennan and Will Ferrell from Step Brothers. Sorry.
Perfect. Yes,
Wasn't-
Walter's
wasn't
gonna
the
Walter's gonna
Shyamalan ghost chick.
jump right down.
You head down the maintenance shaft ladder as well. So that's the
Tim, it goes to maintenance corridors, not to the second. It doesn't go to B deck, right? They're not going to just
no.
like appear in
It
the
connects.
room
It connects to the maintenance shaft entrance
Tunnel
in the Hulk.
level. Okay.
Exactly what you see in the map is where it goes to.
Oh, I see it now. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Who else is going down?
Like, I guess we're doing this, and I go too.
All right, you're down there as well. There's not really any room to put you, but you're down there in the. I would say these first two areas of the shaft are going to be one zone, and then the other half of it will be a second zone. So you guys can kind of spread out down there. Harry?
If Harry's the last one, he'll go with him because he doesn't want to be by himself. But he doesn't. Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Walter jumped right in, so I don't think you're yeah.
Okay. You head down the ladder as well. You're all kind of crammed in this like maintenance shaft leading to a door in a smaller hallway beyond. As you approach it, Walter, the door naturally opens. And you can see that it's like even warmer in this next room. And you can see this because this is all like coolant, or not coolant, but like runoff from like the engine and other systems that are kind of going through this smaller chamber. And you immediately can kind of feel the spattering of sweat on your brow.
Mm.
It's like 20, 25 degrees warmer down here than it is above.
I turn to Reed and I say, "It's not the heat; it's the humidity that gets you." And then I keep going.
Okay. So you're gonna move into the next
Yep.
It's not
area.
that dry heat.
Who's it's a dry heat. You guys following?
Yes.
Opening the next door, it snap hisses as well, and this entire maintenance hallway is filled with hot steam. Lance, you can recognize immediately that like this is the ship responding to what's happening to her, both from the power loss to whatever the damage she took from the initial impact that woke you all up to the emergency venting. This is all and it's kind of like thick with hot steam and moisture. Another 10 degrees. It's probably about 105 degrees in this hallway.
Feel cooler if
And-
you weren't already covered in sticky coolant, like spray.
Hard to see.
Yeah, I still have like
Probably.
pieces of the green like fire retardant foam on me.
I would say, hey, everyone, like, let's keep moving. It sucks down here, and this is a sign that my baby's in trouble. We need to get up there.
All right, so Walter's gonna start hoofing it to the ladder
Okay.
at the end of the hall. Well, I would Walter know what's down here, or is he just?
It's
Whatever.
all gobbledygook and pipes and electronics. You have no idea what's down here or how you would even try to like fix it or anything. It's
But
just,
I
but
can't.
it's just filled with thick, hot steam.
But I can't see a door at the end of the hallway, right?
You can't see anything.
Oh, I can't
It's
see
just-
anything.
I've got
You cannot see the end of the hallway.
Harry's got his flashlight. Does that help? Sorry.
It does.
Oh, it
Well done.
does.
It illuminates a dark
Leo.
space.
There we go. Oh my God.
As
Light.
you hear the click of the lumens of his flashlight, kind of creates like you can see a lot better, but it's that kind of like blinding. Now it illuminates the fog. And you see dangling in the center of the crawl space, well, not a crawl space, but the center of this hallway, a thick black cable. Kind of like slowly going back and forth.
It's probably nothing. It's probably just, an electrical cable that came loose when,
When the alien
the
ran
squirrel,
across
when the
it.
squirrel came through here. Yeah, it's probably nothing. We'll just, I turn around and I say to Harry, I was like, Harry, you got some cables you're going to have to reassemble down here.
As you say this, looking back at Harry into like the blinding light, Walter, you feel drips of moisture on your shoulder, and you kind of look to it and like go to touch it. It's like thick, like mucus.
Ooh.
Oh, shit.
I'm like, hey.
Slowly looking up into the pipes and cable conduits above you, a large, dark shape moves from what appeared to be like a laying down kind of position up in the pipes and cabling above you, and almost like rolling towards you as if it's going to fall almost on you. It drops out and onto the metal of the floor in front of you,
I turn around.
draped in a combination of his flashlight and the swirling kind of bright mist. This black shape, which is about 4 feet tall, crumpled on the floor above you or below, in front of you, slowly begins to stand up. And it's not 4 feet tall or 5 feet tall. Shockingly, whatever this thing is, it's almost 6 feet in length, lanky, with covered in black chitin. And you can see as it trails from above it, that wasn't a cable, but a long tail ridged with spines that kind of falls almost slightly behind you and slithers just barely touching your leg as it heads towards this thing, as it reaches its full height. It is horrifying. And I'm going to reveal it on the map.
Oh, shit.
Had to happen someday.
I want to do something.
I turn
It is-
around. I turn.
Hold on a second. First of all, the very first thing that happens is you all give me a panic roll
No.
from seeing this thing. Sorry, it's
I
the
have-
first time you see the alien, you have to do a panic roll. So I need a panic roll from everyone. This is going to be a D6 plus the number of stress you have.
And poop your pants.
That's a 10.
I have a 3.
Ooh, I got a
That's a
3.
10 for
Oh,
Harry.
three.
One at a time. We'll start with hold your numbers. We'll start with Sergeant.
3.
3. Wow, that's really good. You're just staring in abject disbelief at this thing that an hour ago, if this is the same thing, was the size of a squirrel that as Walter never just stopped shutting up about. You're just staring, you're holding yourself together, but this thing is almost, it's like looking at a like an incredibly thin like basketball player height. But this thing is completely alien in every way. A long cylindrical head with you don't see eyes, you just see these like translucent silvery teeth and strange globules or almost like pipes extruding from its back. A central ridge goes from the front of its face around all the way down its long. Its head is cylindrical. It's about 3 feet, 4 feet long, but you're barely holding it together. Lance, what did you get?
A total of 6.
6. You're also completely have no idea what to do. You're just staring at this thing through the flashlight and mist, holding it together as well. Walter, what did you get?
3.
3 total. You're also surprisingly you're keeping it together. Let me for Parker's sake. Parker, do you know what this thing looks like? Do you want me to share an image of it?
I think I know. I've seen like what the alien movie aliens look like. Is it that?
Correct.
I think you should show us anyway.
Yeah.
I will show you anyway.
I wish there's a way you could have done it like a jump scare moment on roll 20.
Just a map scene that's just an image of the.
Jeremy would have been out. He'd be like, nope.
I was hoping there was a really good GIF, and I'm not finding one. Okay, let me look for something really quick. That took entirely too long, but this is basically what you're seeing in the hallway.
Nice.
Sorry, that took so long. What was your role, Kovacic?
3.
3.
That's right, you keeping it together. Lastly, Harry.
He rolled a 10.
A 10. You freeze. The flashlight shaking in your hands, illuminating this living horror. Okay, so you're gonna gain a stress, and so is everyone else around you. So all 4 of you gain a stress as him being kind of locked in place in complete terror on this thing. Perfectly illuminates as it completely stands up. We're going to enter a combat encounter with the alien. The way this is going to work, as we have not done this yet, is this is where it's been waiting and growing for the last several minutes. So you guys just happened to go to the worst possible place. Okay. The vents were safer, believe it or not.
He's just telling them.
A deck of cards. I have a deck in my hand of 1 to 10. I wish you could draw them from me, but I'm going to draw for each of you, and that's going to be your order in the initiative. This first roll is going to be for Sergeant Reed. Remember, the numbers are 1 through 10. So we'll see what we got here. I got it here in my hand. Sergeant Reed is going to be a 5.
If I wanted to like jump and attack this guy and then let everyone run away, can I?
You absolutely can certainly try. We'll see. Walter, 8.
Is it like highest goes first?
Lower the better. Yeah, lower
Lower
goes
the
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Harry Grossman got
Give me
a
that
1.
10.
It's a 1. for Harry.
I'll still die.
Lance, a 3. And the alien gets 2
Oh.
turns per turn. 7 and 9.
7 and
Alright.
9. He goes
Fuck yeah.
before and after me.
Distance. We'll start with distance really quick. As you're in zones in this game instead of like, the squares and whatnot. Engaged is right next to you, so within like base to base, 5 feet. Short range is a few meters away, so like 18 to 20 feet away from you is short distance, and medium is beyond that distance, and then long. You're not going to be in long range on the ship, but so think of it more as the zones and how far you can move between those zones. In combat, you get actions similar to D&D. You can do 2 fast actions, or you can do a slow action and a fast action. Fast actions are going to be like moving. Slow actions are going to be more complicated things like attacking with weapons, whether that's melee or ranged. I don't think any of you have ranged weapons. Throwing things. When you want to do an attack, you're going to roll the connected skill. So close combat for punching it, hitting it with things. Movement would be, again, between zones. For each zone of range you're moving is going to be an additional action. Let's say you're engaged with the alien, which neither of you currently are. If you were engaged with the alien and you wanted to move away from it, it would be 1 fast action to move from engaged to short, and then a second fast action to move from short to medium. Does that make sense? I might be getting some things wrong, but we're just going to go for it. I don't want to take any more time. Top of the round, Harry, as you are dumbfounded and shocked and frozen, looking at this creature as it raises up, and it's kind of looming there in the mist, ignited by your torch. What are you doing?
So to use my slow action, can I use my signature item? I know that's supposed to like reduce the stress level. Can I use that to come out of the like frozen state?
I would say you're you lose your next slow action as being frozen. So I think losing your next slow action.
So I just get one.
So for one
action?
round of combat, you're just going to be staying there.
Okay, so I can't.
Frozen.
I can't.
Correct.
I can't do anything.
Yes, frozen in fear. You're essentially going to lose a turn.
So I lose 2 actions.
Sorry. You can perform 1 slow. I said it right the first time. 1 slow action and 1 fast action, or 2 fast actions on your turn. So that leaves you with 1 fast action on your turn to do, Harry.
So because of the frozen, I've only got the fast action.
Correct.
Okay, I'm gonna run.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You can move into the next zone with a fast action if you'd like.
And again, zones are just
That's Walter.
I move Walter.
yeah.
You can move. Okay, so you're currently this leg of the tunnel is a zone, and then the previous leg you came from is a zone. So it's made up of 2 zones. So you can move into this zone as a fast action. So you essentially run behind you, which means you can no longer see the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's what Harry wants to do.
Okay.
He has
So-
a sudden rush of wanting to live to flick off his soon-to-be ex-wife one more time. So he is all about living. Fuck those guys.
And
Harry,
he was the only light in the room.
Correct.
I have
Oh.
one.
So
I haven't taken it out.
I have
Harry
a light.
leaves behind you, leaving you all in darkness and steam. And that's all Harry's going to be able to do on his turn. Lance, you're up. So one heavy, or one slow and one fast, or two fast.
So, would I be able to run past him?
Past Harry?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's enough room.
Yeah, I'm gone, man. I am too fast action run.
Okay. So you can move essentially you'd be able to get like to the bottom of the ladder in two fast actions. And not quite. Okay. I really want to move you out of there, Walter. You get to the base of the ladder with two fast actions. So Harry, as you kind of stumble back, almost like I imagine you stumble backwards into the hallway behind you. So the flashlight's still on. You just left them in darkness, and then rushing past you out of the dark is Lance, and going past you. Sergeant Reed, you're up.
I'm gonna give it all I got. So I'm gonna take my baton in one hand and my knife in the other, and I'm gonna run after that fucking thing. And I'm just gonna try to fucking go.
So you can do a fast action to move within close range of it.
Yes, and then I'm gonna try to stab and baton that fucking thing.
So moving forward, you can see the creature now. You kind of rush forward, the mist kind of parts, and you see this thing standing full frame, its arms out, almost to give like a fucked up hug. And you're gonna make an attack. So this is gonna be your slow action. You can attack with either your stun baton or the knife. You can attack with both. It's both at the same time.
We'll do the baton, because if I knife it, I'm afraid it'll have the acid spew out and cause another hole.
Okay. This is going to be a close combat attack roll for you. Does your stun baton add anything to that roll?
How would I know something like that?
It'd be on the stun baton card.
Oh, okay. I think you sent me some information about that.
It is armor piercing, and gives you a +1 dice and does damage 1. So it's going to give you an additional dice for this attack, and it's armor piercing, which is actually relevant because this thing has armor.
And then I think I have an extra roll on top of that, right?
If you would like to use, well, here a couple things here that could happen. You have an extra die that you saved, so you can add an extra die. You also have your automatic success without rolling. So if you wanted to, you could use your automatic success from your story point to automatically hit this thing if you wanted to, or you could roll.
Let's do that. Let's do the automatic.
Okay. So you rush forward in the mist like a complete, absolute badass, fearless in the face of this thing after holding it together. And you rush forward and you're going to swing with the baton. So that's going to be... Actually, I don't know how this would work.
Because you don't have as many sixes, right?
6. Because additional 6s would do additional damage. Do you want to roll and you can retroactively use your automatic 6?
Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. Because I have a lot of rolls.
So go and roll close combat attack +1 die. And let me know how that goes.
Okay, I can only go up to... I'm going to do... close combat is 8. Right?
Hell yeah. So it'd be +1, so 9 dice.
So 9 d6s.
Plus your stress.
I'll do 6. And then 2. Only 2. And then stress is, I think, 2 right now. Let me go verify. Yep, 2. So then I will roll another 2, which is 4. So no stress.
Success. You rush forward, igniting the baton, and you slam this thing into its chest. It seems to react to it immediately and screams. It makes this horrible, high-pitched wail, this unearthly alien scream. So how many successes did you get?
2.
2 successes. So additional, if you can do a stunt with this. Your stunt options for melee attacking are going to be additional damage.
Backflip.
You can swap an initiative card with an opponent. An opponent, he doesn't have a handheld weapon to drop. Yeah. Most of the stunts are going to be for attacking like humans. But you can add additional damage if you'd like. So that would be 2 damage.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay. 2 damage. It's going to roll its armor save, which is an amount I'm not going to tell you. But you have armor piercing. So let's see what happens. 2, 3. It got 1 success on its armor roll, but you pierced it with your armor piercing attack. So you're going to do 1 damage to the creature. You were in close range with this thing. As you kind of slam it, it electrocutes it, it screams. You can feel the thing slightly puncture the alien. And there's a squirt of blood. Going to squirt out.
Yikes.
No successes. You're incredibly lucky. You see the squirt of alien blood miss you and hit the side of the pipes in the wall and begin immediately eating them away. And you yank the prod out of it. Let's see what it does when you damage this thing. It's not doing anything for the moment. So you did your fast action and 1 slow action attacking this thing. Anything else for you, Sergeant Reed? The air is also now starting to get thick with acidic, like burning and chemicals. It's getting very unhealthy in here.
Is there anything I could do? I mean, I don't think. Is there even?
No, you don't have any. You don't have any
Yeah.
more
Okay.
things to do. But it is the alien's turn.
Perfect.
Now, I don't choose. I don't choose what this thing does.
I wanted everyone to get out. It was me. I'm gonna go ahead and fall on this sword.
Parker, I would like you to roll a d6 to determine what this alien sentry is going to do. Or
Let's
soldier
fucking
is
go.
going to do.
A 1.
A 1. Incredible. So, you slam into this thing. It screams and kind of hunches and hisses at you. And you can see as its mouth opens, there's a second set of teeth inside of its mouth. It screams and wheels around and takes off down the hallway. Runs through the door at the end of the hallway, and the door closes behind it, and it disappears.
What? Yes.
Holy shit!
What?
Parker.
We're now out of combat as the creature, essentially it runs away. Standing there, slightly trembling, as acid eats through an electrical conduit pipe to your right, with Walter behind you. Whatever that was, it's now gone. And I think we'll pick up there in Act 3. next time.
Nice.
All right.
As that's going to be the end of Act 2, guys.
Hey T.
Yeah.
Can I put a button on Act 2 with Mother?
Absolutely. Sorry, we should go back to the captain for the very end of the session here. That's a great idea. So we're leaving the maintenance shaft. The crew, incredibly luckily, still alive as the acid splash missed you, without getting a single 6 on 10 dice. Because of course, because I rolled it. And making it burn away instead of just killing you, because it could have killed you about 5 different ways. We're going to cut back to Captain Asher, completely ignorant to what's transpiring on the deck above him.
No idea.
What are you doing, Captain Lee?
So I was headed towards refrigeration. I don't know what's going on, but it occurred. I turned back around to go back to the console and ask.
Okay.
Or is there one in refrigeration? Is there
There
a
is.
console there?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll go there then.
Okay.
That's where I was headed out anyway. And I asked Mother, is how would I? Because I confirmed that we're in a degrading orbit, right?
Correct.
So I asked Mother, is a pilot necessary to correct our degrading orbit?
Affirmative.
Lance is so lucky.
And I kind of swear under my breath a little, and I get the cryo gun I know is in refrigeration. Because at this point, I still think it's like a squirrel-sized thing that's trapped in the room I locked. Right? I don't know I don't know anything else.
Would you like to
So
switch
I
on
get-
the motion tracker as you move on deck B?
Right. Yeah. As when I grab that part of it, which is the other piece of what I wanted, I turn the tracker.
So as you get off the ladder and move to talk to Mother, there's this doop, 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 this constant blue pulse from the tracker, and there's got kind of a gyro type thing going on as you kind of move around, almost like a compass. You clarify with Mother that indeed it does require a pilot to move you out of a decaying orbit. How far away does the what range is this tracker? Should say on the card.
2 zones.
2 zones.
So the hallway and the other hallway, or towards the maintenance area and the hallway.
There is.
Does it count the room I'm in?
No.
It's 2 zones. So yeah,
there is no
Way
pings
down.
within the 2 zones around you. Doop, 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 doop. Where else do you want to? You have a little bit more time.
I kind of turn back to Mother and I say, is it possible to can I be taught key tasks to fix our our orbit?
Affirmative.
Basically, if I need a pilot, I'm asking, can you teach me how to do this myself?
Affirmative. She can take you through the steps of getting you out of the orbit, but she just needs a physical hand on the stick.
Cool.
As you're talking
That's what I
to
wanted know.
Mother, you get a priority message from Mother. And that will be in your Act 3 personal objective. Your eyes kind of grow
So,
wide as you
Thank
read
Thank you for
the message, and then narrow again as you fully read it.
Thank you for letting me put a button on the end of it, because I kind of want to leave the team with that.
Oh, we're gonna leave the team with this.
It's clairvoyance.
As you go to leave,
Like, you don't know.
refrigeration. Dong, dong, dong. A ping on the motion tracker. It is here.
Oh, it's where?
I'm pinging on. the
Okay.
map.
Got it.
You have no idea how you. As far as you know, this thing is still a squirrel.
And I have the cryo gun that I want I have the cryo gun to like solve this issue. So I, in my hubris, exit refrigeration and head in that direction.
Hell yeah. Guys, this is so much fun. I hope you guys are having a good time. Sorry, it's going to stretch into 3 sessions, but we'll wrap it up here in the next one. So expect things to get pretty fucking intense pretty quickly in Act 3. The alien is now full size and ready to fuck.
I am planning my death scene.